Now that we've seen what we need to do to export from Max, it's time to get into Unreal Engine, the actual software that we're learning about here. So you need to go to unrealengine.com, and it's made by Epic Games. Okay, so you go here and you can see that it's free, and you can hit this Get Unreal and it will download an installer. After you install, you should have something that looks somewhat like this. And in here, this is kind of the dashboard, and you have all the things you need. This is where you will launch the actual game engine. As you can see, I'm in Unreal Engine 4.10.0 currently, but they're always upgrading. If you go to your library, you can update to the latest one. I actually have some upgrades that I need to do. So you can download different versions of the engine here. There's a community with tutorials, etc., examples, things to download. If you go to Learn, you have lots of different learning channels here. And there's a marketplace where you can buy content. But this is the button that's important. Launch Unreal Engine 4.10.0. What that will do is bring up this dialog box. And here you'll have a list of the projects you already have on your computer. Let's just do a new project. And we'll start with the first person template. Like that, and I'll show you how to edit this so it gives us what we need to do in ArcViz walkthrough. If we set it on desktop console, maximum quality with starter content, that's all great. This is going to put it into a specific spot in your computer, and it creates a new folder in documents usually. I think that's by default. And you would put the name here. We'll put My Project 2 because we're just doing a test, and let's create the project. It'll start with the start files for all that My Project, and it will open up the Unreal Engine editor, and we'll see that in just a sec. Here we are in the editor, and if you've never been here before, you might not know what any of this stuff is. I'll try to talk about this all as we go through, but first I want to show you, this is the template, remember the first person template, and if we hit play here, and you control using arrows or the WASD keys, and the spacebar to jump. And right now I can shoot, which obviously we're not going to need any of that. But this is kind of how you navigate around here, and obviously everything is rendering in real time because that's what this is all about. So let's see how we can edit this to actually use it for something we need. We hit escape and get out of there. The first thing we're going to do to set up our scene is to take this, which is a nice little character. It's got this little collision object around it so that we can't run into things, and it's got all the controls built into it already, which is handy, but it does have this gun that we don't need. So if we select this whole thing, which is grouped together or parented together, and hit Edit Blueprint, open Blueprint Editor. Now Blueprint is basically a visual scripting language, and all these are different parts of the script. We can delete all the things that are in this spawn projectile area, because we're not actually going to be using the gun. We close out of here. This is the construction script, which is fine. If we go into viewport, now keep in mind this opened a different window. My Unreal Editor is still over here. But here we have the actual object and its construction, and we can take this and delete the gun, delete the arms. And now we've got what we need for our project. We can save it and then close out of here. Now let's go back in. One of our blueprints has an unresolved compiler error. Are you sure you want to play? No. Let's go back and look and see what we did wrong to fix this. Okay, to fix that compiler error, then let's go back into here and check it out. Select this again, Edit Blueprint. What we need to do that I forgot is just go to the construction script. Just make sure that the attached to part of this script is gone. Hit save. We have nothing to attach to there, so now we're good to go. Close this down, go back into our editor. If you hit play now, we have no more arms sticking out. We no longer have a bullet to shoot. We just have a first-person navigation blueprint that is walking around our scene, and it can be controlled by the keys and the keyboard and the spacebar and all that stuff. Perfect for navigating around. So we're ready to go, and let me show you a few other things to set this up for our scene. Hit escape to go out. Now we don't need all these objects in here. So what we can do is just start deleting some of these things. Now as you see, when I select over here, it brings up in my world outliner over here, the names of everything in my scene are right here. So editor cube 20 is what I just selected. Now if I hit this editor cube, go all the way up to the top editor cube, and hold down shift and click, then I can delete them all at once. I don't need this guy. This guy I can hold down control and select multiple things. You can see my lighting's now messed up. So I'm deleting all these rectangles, and you'll notice that I'm leaving all these little kind of helpers in here. You might call them helpers if you're used to 3ds Max. That's not really what they are here, but template label, we don't need that. Okay, this is a player start. This is a indirect light, or a sunlight. This is a reflection sphere. And these dummy boxes around here are also important. I'll leave those here, and I'll explain what they are and what they're doing as we go throughout the course. But right now, this is pretty much set up so that you can start working in this file, and it's got all the things you need. It's especially got this really cool navigation blueprint to walk around the scene, so you didn't have to set any of that up yourself. And it's already got a sky background, as you can see. Has some other handy things in here that if we started from scratch, we'd have to do it all ourselves, but if we use this template, we can just use the stuff that's already here, which is a little easier. I'll explain to you all the things that are in here so that you can set it up from scratch if you want, but that will be as we go throughout the course.